Welcome to Lineups and Lures, where the talk runs from the dugouts to drift boats. We're all about the games we play and the waters we fish, the stories, the rivalries, the moments that keep us coming back. If it happens under the lights or out on the water, we're in. This is Lineups and Lures. We're going to start off with a little bit of fishing talk because it's spring here in Portland and there's a lot of fishing opportunities going on.
So I've heard.
Yes. Well, I would invite you out, but I know you don't like trout fishing, so you haven't got that invite.
I don't think that's been the issue. I think the issue is I've been chained to the desk. Desk. And then freshman baseball every afternoon. So, you know.
It keeps you busy. That's why you go fish in the mornings, and then you got all afternoon to do what you need to do.
When I got your schedule.
But, been out doing a little springer fishing.
Yeah.
So I had a really good day before the first closure. Went out with our buddy Phil Lyman. Did a little springer fishing right before the first closure and had a 5 for 12 day. It was a really good day. We grinded. We were out there from 7:30 till almost 4.
Yeah, you told me about it. That's a long day, man.
It was a long day, but you know what? When you're catching those springers, and I mean, we 5 in the boat, 3 keepers. We were just fishing for one more keeper. I mean, it was a great day. Beautiful out until it rained.
Beautiful until it rained.
Yeah, you got a little rainy and windy.
Well, sounds like Oregon in April in the valley, man. That's half of the cost right there.
Yep, you just never know. Always bring a rain jacket. And then went out again last Friday on the first day of the reopener. And wouldn't you know it, that they just kind of dumped a bunch of water in there and all kinds of debris all over the river, and nobody was catching fish.
Yeah, no, the ODFW has a fun way of releasing water out of dams when fishing season is around, and then magically not needing to do it until later. So
yeah, it's crazy. But I heard one report that one of the fish checkers checked in 60 boats for 3 fish.
That sounds like a waste of gasoline.
Especially in today's economy.
Right?
Yeah, so it was a rough day out there. And had one snag and lost all of our gear. So not only do we not catch any fish, we lost the whole setup, which is never fun.
Yeah, it's not at $30-$40 a setup either. I mean, a flash has got to be $20 these days, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's probably $35-$40 a setup.
Yes. So I think my springer season is probably over.
Okay.
I know it reopens again this weekend, but I'm not going to be able to get out. And with the water levels and the counts are
That's not
dropping.
The reason you're not going springer fishing.
I mean, I could have arranged my schedule on a way to do it. I got baseball this weekend. I don't know what you're talking about.
You gotta be standing in the Deschutes, you lion sack. Well, you know what?
Well, that's tomorrow. We'll get to the Deschutes fishing in a second. I mean, we might as well talk about it now then. So made the trip over 2 weeks ago on a fishing Friday. And
Fishing Friday?
Fridays are for fishing. You know, it used to be golfing Fridays. We used to golf every Friday.
That was a long, long time ago.
It was. But I traded the golf clubs in for the fly rod, so.
It's probably not a bad decision.
But we went over, me, Chad Jackson, and Connor Woyan, and did a float on the Deschutes, which normally I wouldn't do one that early, fishing the salmon fly hatch. But
it's been warm, though.
Yeah, the weather we've had, the bugs were definitely out. The fish weren't necessarily keying in on the big bugs, but on the littler stuff, it was going pretty well. So between the 3 of us, we probably had 20 dry fly fish caught, it's a pretty good day for, not being out with a guide, not really knowing all the spots to fish, and probably spooking more fish than we caught. But we got about 20. It was a good day.
There you go.
So we fished the Deschutes. What was that? Was that last year or the year before? During Memorial Day weekend?
Let's see here. It wasn't last year because I don't think Kiddo was back yet from ACL surgery, so it would have been 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We went over and, when I saw the rattlesnake, that was enough. That was the end of my day for trouncing up and down the Deschutes banks, but yeah.
Yes, yeah. Unfortunately, again, with the warmer weather, they've been out.
So I bet they have.
We were out in early May, and I ran into a big snake. I don't know if it was a rattlesnake or a gopher snake, but I turned and was out of there.
Yeah, 180 and whoosh.
Yeah. Well, I tripped and fell, and then I was out of there. Yeah, not fun. But I didn't break anything or any equipment, so
I mean, that's a win. And you didn't get bitten.
Exactly. And then I also, I was in Bend a couple weeks ago. We had an off weekend, and I went up to Little Lava Lake and Crane Prairie.
Okay.
two places that I've fished crane prairie a few times in my float tube, but got to go up to Little Lava Lake, and I had never fished up there. And there's 3 little mountain peaks poking out just beyond the lake. I mean, it's a beautiful place to fish.
Right.
So I get up there and I just see all these rings on the water, and this old timer pulls up next to me and he's like, "Oh, looks like we got a hatch going on." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So started dry fly fishing and probably had a 25 fish day, all on dry flies, lake fishing, and not a single fish under about 14 inches. So pretty epic day on the lake. You don't get too many of those.
I'll just have to take your word for it.
Yeah, even dodged a thunderstorm on the way in.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it's those metal poles with the thunder and lightning. That's probably a good combination.
Yeah, literally, I was on the other side of the lake, saw the thunderstorm coming in, didn't see any lightning, so I kind of waited till I saw lightning. Kept getting closer and closer. Saw the lightning, I was like, all right, I'm out. I got my boat loaded in my truck, closed my door, skies opened up, and dumped rain.
I believe it.
Like, I couldn't have timed that any better.
Well, good day.
So it's been some good fishing, and I'm excited. We got the Bend Memorial Day tournament this weekend, so I'm going to go over a day or two early and stay a day later. And all the trout rivers open on Friday, so get to go out and fish the upper Deschutes, maybe Tulamolo Creek, kind of all the stuff that's been closed for the last 6-8 months. So it'll be nice to get on those waters and do one more day on the Deschutes on Thursday on my way over, probably fish Trout Creek and see if I can get some more on the dry fly. So I know you've done a little bit of fly fishing, but that dry fly bite it's pretty awesome.
I just got to get semi-retired like you. I mean, that's what I need to get to. So I'll get there about 15 years from now, and I'll be out there with you.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to some good fishing this week, and I'll give you a report when I get back.
I appreciate it.
Hey there, I'm Chad with Jackson Painting and Remodel, and if you're looking to give your home a fresh new look, you've come to the right place. Whether you need a bold new color for your living room or a fresh coat to brighten up your home's exterior, my team and I have got you covered. We specialize in both indoor and outdoor painting, using only the best materials to make sure your space looks amazing and stands the test of time. If you're ready to transform your home, visit jacksonpainting.com. I'd love to come by, chat about your ideas, and give you a free estimate. At Jackson Painting and Remodel, we don't just paint, we make your vision a reality. Again, visit jacksonpainting.com or call 503-620-2600.
Let's talk some Mariners baseball.
Oh, this is going to be hard to do, but yes, okay.
I mean, there's so many different directions we can take this.
Whew.
Let's start with some positives.
Okay.
It's nice to see Colt Emerson at the major league level.
Yeah.
It's nice to see him get that first hit.
You put the ball over the wall. Pretty good way to start.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we can go a lot of directions here. I think I'm still in the camp, and I said this earlier, of, as the great Aaron Rodgers once said, RELAX. Relax. 500 at the All-Star break is all we need to be.
Well, I guess we might as well get into my next question then.
Okay.
Is it time for a managerial change?
No, don't be stupid. Your All-Star, the guy that makes this thing run, I believe was hurt before he went on the IL.
Yes.
And unfortunately, when they were actually getting guys on base, and your guy that hit 100-plus RBIs last year wasn't driving in 100-plus RBIs, that causes a problem. Run production was down. Look, I still think that at the end of the day, this is an obscenely good lineup all the way through. I mean, Rodriguez, Naylor, Arozarena, and Raleigh. No, Raleigh.
No, we say Rayleigh in America.
No, I'm talking about Cal.
Oh.
Could all be All-Stars.
Oh, absolutely.
And, when you've got Donovan basically not being in the lineup, you've got Cal, who he was in the lineup but probably shouldn't have been. There's so much talent on this team. It's going to click. It's going to take a minute, and I'm not concerned about it yet. Yes. I think the bigger thing we should be talking about is our frickin' starting pitching.
Well, and these are reasons for concern because our offense is doing, without Cal, is doing what it needs to do. Julio's putting up great numbers. Rayleigh's hitting the ball hard.
Canzone's hit the ball a little bit.
He's not. I mean, he's not a regular, and he never should be.
Well, no, but
I mean, Rayleigh's got 10 home runs. He's showing that he's healthy, which Naylor's starting to figure it out. He's up to 255. Rosarina's having one of his best seasons of his career.
Shocking in a contract year.
Well, that seems to happen. Cole Young has been, better than advertised. Garver's had some decent at-bats filling in, so...
And he's only going to get better. I mean, let's be honest. Out of Mitch, we're probably seeing 230, 240. He's going to send a couple out of the yard, and more importantly, he works with the pitching stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But the problem is going to be it is the pitching, and that is a big issue. And let's get into this piggybacking situation. What do you think about this?
So I need you to explain this because I was reading an article this morning, and I didn't get it.
Okay, so the concept is, instead of going to 5 starters and telling Luis Castillo, who everybody loves, that he needs to go to the bullpen, we're going to piggyback. So Bryce Miller gets the start. He's going to go his 70, 75 pitches. And then you bring in Castillo after him. And then the thought is next week, Castillo starts, goes his 70, 75 pitches, and then Miller comes in after him. Or they just keep it the way it is and just let Miller be the starter, and Castillo basically is always piggybacking with Miller.
So this is just these two?
Just these two. There are teams like 5-6 years ago, I think the Astros were trying to do it, where every pitcher was paired up with another guy, and it would be start, relieve, and then the reliever would start, and then the starter would. So they're just flip-flopping each week, and you get 70 pitches, and that's what it is. So if you have too many starters, which the Mariners do, it's an option.
Well, Oregon State's done it for years.
Informally. I mean, they're trying to get deeper than 70 pitches.
Well, yeah, but, Friday night, 2 years ago, it was who was that Friday night guy 2 years ago? And then Segura, as a freshman, would come in and pitch the rest on Friday night.
Yeah. No, they always paired up pitchers. But here's my problem, and this gets into a deeper discussion, is usually if you're piggybacking starters and doing a tandem starter thing like this, you're a development team. You're not a World Series contending roster trying to win a division, trying to win a World Series. This is an opportunity to get 6-7 starting pitchers experience during the season and kind of figure out who's going to be who and do stuff. So this isn't something that championship teams do. They've never done it this way. I don't think it's going to hold out for very long, which I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned with the mentality, and this gets into some front office talk because who's in charge of this? Is this Dan Wilson's idea? Is this Woodworth's idea? Is this DePoto's idea? Because I think it's pretty clear that Dan Wilson's not necessarily running this team.
Well, as the great Samuel L. Jackson said, allow me to retort. Fundamentally, I don't disagree with your statement. This is not what championship teams do, but I am going to disagree a little bit with your take. The reality is you need 3 starting pitchers in the playoffs, maybe 4, maybe. And plenty of guys have run it with 3, and quite frankly, the Diamondbacks run it with 2 20 years ago with Kurt and Randy.
Yeah.
So, look, at the end of the day, your dudes are Gilbert, Kirby, and Wu. Fact. Those are your 3 dudes. Those are your 3 starters in the playoffs right now today. And I highly doubt that would change anytime soon.
Correct.
I firmly believe that they are trying to do whatever they can to get Rivas out of his funk so that they can move on with him before the trade deadline, and he will be packaged in with something else, someone else for something else. Fact. He ain't going to pitch in the playoffs this year. I love him. He's been great for Seattle. I love everything he did. He's been a consummate professional in his time here. But once again, Father Time won again. And that happens. And when you have a guy, well, you have 2 other guys in Hancock and Anderson, and I think Anderson may well be in the rotation by the end of the year. He might be in the rotation by the All-Star break, especially if you can move on from Castillo sooner rather than later.
But even if you move on from Castillo, you still have Gilbert, Hancock, Wu, Kirby, Miller. There's your 5-man rotation right there.
Anderson becomes 6. I understand that. Look, I think if Seattle is serious about going and winning a World Series, they are a middle-of-the-lineup bat short currently. I think you are going to see some combination. To move Castillo, you're going to have to throw in something young, and that guy might well be Bryce Miller or Hancock. One of those two guys is not on the roster at the end of the year because you got to give up some young talent to A, offset the salary, and B, if you're going to want an all-star bat, they're going to want a potential all-star pitcher. Emerson and Miller both provide that, and then maybe there has to be another piece of the puzzle from AA or AAA. Kate Anderson ain't going anywhere. Those first 3 guys aren't going anywhere.
Logan Gilbert, maybe. I mean, he's going to get paid a lot of money, and right now he's not pitching like a number 1. It's early.
Let's pump the brakes.
We're 10 starts into this. He's pitching to us almost a 5 ERA. He's struggling.
Yeah, but he's also pitched very well for a long time.
Yeah. All right. So if you're the Mariners and the other team that I'm going to suggest, would you make this deal? Castillo, Bryce Miller, Canzone for Mike Trout.
Well, that's my trade idea. You stole my idea. I literally called you on the telephone. So don't be telling you this is my trade idea.
But would you move those 3 guys
I literally went to the Angels game last week, and I got on the phone, and I called you, and I said, Mike Trout needs to come to Seattle. You're stealing my shit here.
Yes. Yes, I am. I just beat you to it. That's okay. I mean, does that get the deal done?
So Luis is gone. That's fine. The Angels are not in a position to win anytime soon. You are essentially trading Miller for Trout, and the rest is window dressing, let's be honest.
Canzone's not bad.
No, Canzone's not bad, but he's not the eye of the prize here is Miller.
Yes.
If I'm the Angels, I'm making some phone calls to see if I can get anything else. We ain't the only one that's going to be in that game.
No.
And our biggest competition is going to be the Bronx, New York, who knows what they'll do. So the answer is on that deal, yeah, I think that works for both people. We get an aging superstar that we're going to have to pay. And the other question to be is, are we have to pay him all the money, or are they paying him some of the money?
Well, you would think if you're swapping Castillo for Trout money.
Castillo's done at the end of the year, though.
Yeah, which is why it's a perfect deal for him.
Perfect deal for them. It's not a great deal for us. Now we're paying $50 million for a guy that probably is not going to hit. He's waiting 2 years.
You never know. I mean, how many more years does he have left on his contract?
I think he's got like 5.
Really?
Well, this one plus 4.
But the way he's playing right now, it's not bad. I mean, as long as he stays healthy, he's put up great numbers the last couple of years.
Well, I called you with this deal, so you know how I feel about it. Yes, it works perfectly. He can give Julio a day off in center. He plays corner. He starts in right field. He can DH every once in a while if he needs a day off. Yes, it works out perfectly. I've already been over this with you.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, we actually need a right-handed bat because we got plenty of left-handed bats.
It's not a problem most teams have.
No. Yes, I do that deal.
Yeah, I would make that deal. And, looking at the other bottom feeders around the league, I mean, there's, Colorado doesn't really have anybody. San Francisco's been talking about looking to sell off a lot of pieces, but I'll tell you who I'm not touching is a guy like Matt Chapman.
Well, that's
a lot of money for a terrible offensive, and he has not been a good offensive player in many years.
So there's going to be a number of names that start floating around, and we're a little early because it's still only the middle of May. Probably need to wait 30 days before things get real serious. But, I mean, there's chances. There's going to be bats out there, and there's going to be veteran bats out there. I think it's too early to look at any particular guy. The Trout deal came to mind literally because I went to Angel Stadium last week, and I was at the game, and I'm like, this could actually work. And it actually works for both teams.
It does.
So, yeah, there's going to be a lot going on. I love the Trout idea. And the other thing is, remember, he got a full no-trade deal, so he can ex-nay anything he wants.
Yeah, he's signed through 2031 at about $36 to $40 million per year, which isn't that bad in today's game.
Yeah,
but it's still a lot for an aging player.
So here's the question you got to ask. So if you make this deal, are you re-signing Randy Arozarena or are you letting him walk?
Depends on how close Montez is. Lazaro, and because he's down in like AA, AAA.
Well, and let's not forget that Luke Raley hasn't exactly sucked.
No, but he's meant to be more of a platoon guy. He's not really meant to be an everyday guy.
Yeah, but what if he hits his way into an everyday guy?
Then that's a bonus. You know, the other name that, unfortunately, the two names that keep popping up in my head constantly are from our division. The Astros are done. The Astros run is over.
Okay.
Jordan.
They ain't giving up Jordan.
Why not? Would you have said last year that, or 2 years ago, there's no way they're giving up Bregman? There's no way they're giving up Valdez? I mean, they've let some big pieces go. And Altuve's not getting any younger. He seems to always be getting injured.
Jordan plays right field, right?
He does play right field.
Well, there's your bat.
And you know one place that he absolutely loves to hit? He loves hitting in Seattle. He's killed us.
I feel like you're teasing me right now because that guy hits an absolute ton.
He does, but I mean that's another team that I think is moving to a rebuild, a full rebuild.
Jordan
Why keep him?
Is going to cost you every prospect on the bench. I mean, I'm talking they're going to want 3-4 first-round guys.
Okay.
Which without timeline I don't have a problem with, but that's what it's going to cost you.
Okay, so I mean, if you have to give up a Ryan Sloan and
everyone but Montez and Kate Anderson, you can have everything else in the bond.
You can have three of them.
Probably going to get four of them, but still.
Well, three of them and maybe a major league ready guy.
But at the end of the day, if you look at that, we don't need anybody.
No. So if that gets you one World Series, is it worth it?
Well, considering we have 0, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Let's start with 1.
If it gets you into a World Series, is it worth it?
It's not quite the same.
It's not the same.
No, you gotta put the banner up in the rafters, brother.
You do.
No, I still think that this team is built for success. They're built for a deep playoff run. The one thing that I think is different about this roster, and I believe this, it may not be popular to say, I have sat back and watched teams like the Yankees, Houston, for years. Even the Dodgers. Look at what the Dodgers are doing right now. They're on cruise control right now. They win some, they lose some. Couple guys hurt, couple guys banged up, whatsoever. Who cares? Everything's good. August comes along and they go 22-4. And they go, it's go time. I think this team has a little bit of that mentality. I think they have the ability to be that good. Now, a lot's going to depend on number 29 getting back healthy and getting back in the middle of that lineup because he is the difference maker.
Yeah.
He's our guy.
Yeah.
So I think he needs to come back healthy, get back on a run. I mean, he put that team on his back last year, and that's okay. I mean, Aaron Judge puts the Yankees on his back every year. So if he wants to, and he was considered in the same breath as Aaron Judge last year, if you want to be considered in that rarefied air, you got to play like it. So let's see what he does. And if he gets back, I think the pitching staff will figure it out. Like I said, stay to 500 at the All-Star break and then hit the overdrive button.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I got one little more tidbit for you here. You know that the 3 American League division winners or leaders right now, as of May 20th,
okay,
are the Athletics, the Guardians, and the Rays.
Cleveland doesn't surprise me. The other two have no business being there.
Okay. Well, if you want to talk about who's in second in the Central, that would be the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 4 teams that are in the bottom 10 of payroll right now, leading the divisions. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but
which makes it hard with these arguments for the labor negotiations that it's the small market teams can't win. You got 4 teams contending right now, which we're a month into the season.
And there you go. And you wait for the big boys to show up after the All-Star break, and you watch what happens.
That Rays team is kind of on a run right now.
But the Rays and the Athletics have always been the outlier because they get a suit. Now, the A's are different with the move to Vegas. They're not selling their guys for the first time in 20 years. But every year those guys get a huge prospect, goes up to the bigs, lights it up, wins Rookie of the Year, and the Yankees go, here's 4 prospects for your dude. And then 2 out of 4 hit. They've been doing it for years. So it's not, your argument's not solid.
But Cleveland, let's talk about Cleveland.
Well,
they're 29th in payroll.
Yeah, but in 2 years from now, they might be the 5th in payroll. They got to pay some dudes.
Well, they have the one dude that they've paid, but they're building their roster the right way.
I know. I remember telling you when watching them in spring training going, they got some dudes on that lineup.
Yeah.
No, they've constructed it the right way. And what other than it's the 3 hitter, the switch hitter, who's that? Ramirez is. But, they got my guy. Their right fielder, I think, is going to be somebody. Kwan's doing his thing. I mean, he's not doing his thing right now, but I think he will go back to doing his thing.
Yeah. Well, he's back in left field now, so I'm wondering if they made that switch because they tried to move him to center. He's been having a terrible offense this season, which is killing my fantasy team. So they move him back to left. Maybe he gets more comfortable, turns it around.
Yeah, baseball's funny that way. I mean, some guys like to hit in a certain spot in the lineup. Some guys want to play in a certain spot in the field, and you wouldn't think something like that would make a difference, but baseball's a funny game that way. So
yeah, absolutely. Want one-on-one coaching that makes a real difference? At Portland Baseball Club, our private lessons give players the focused attention they need to master their game. Work directly with top PBC coaches on your swing, pitching mechanics, fielding footwork, catching, whatever your game needs most. Every session is customized to your goals, your skill level, and your season, helping you see results fast. Train smarter, not just harder, and take your performance to the next level. Book your private lessons today at portlandbaseballclub.com. All right, you got anything else before we hop off?
I do. I got a couple of quick hitters for you today.
All right, let's go.
So, since you stole my Mike Trout deal,
I just beat you to it on the radio.
So we're going to go from least shocking to most shocking. Really quickly, what do we think of Oregon State's road to Omaha? Or do we want to save that for the next time?
I mean, there's a lot that's going to go on between now and our next recording.
Yeah, I mean, there's the whole championship weekend this weekend, or conference weekend, whatever you want to call it.
If they can slide into a home regional host and not be 16, because 16 you're looking at, 17 seeds in your thing. Like, it's not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
But playing at home, it's going to be warm. You just got to win 2 out of the 3. I think they got a shot to get to a super. I don't know what's going to happen after that.
Yeah, the Bats are going to need to have just a 3-week run of waking up because they've been a little quiet for a while.
Well,
so
they're doing what they need to do. It's just not quite enough to probably get to Omaha.
We haven't played anybody in a month. So, all right, we'll save more of that for next time.
You do know they're one of 2 teams in the country that haven't lost a series all year?
However, their RPI is where it is for a reason, but
it's still baseball. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day.
Which is why they won 2 out of 3 on a lot of weekends, not 3 out of 3 on a lot of weekends. Not like they were a couple years ago when they were humming.
Correct.
All right, enough of the Beavers. We'll come back to that one. I think the Seahawks might be getting a 7 or 8-time Pro Bowler to pinch hit at defensive end.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
I think Mr. Bosa is going to try to come ring chase and come to Seattle.
We're in a great position for that type of deal.
Isn't it finally nice to be that team where we get the veterans that want to come play and do it on a team-friendly salary?
Exactly.
Finally, we're the guys. Yep. We get these deals. We never used to get these deals.
We've been begging for this as Blazer fans, as Mariner fans, as Seahawk fans.
I mean, how many times in the Blazers during the teens do we sit there and go, the buyout guys and the mid-level exemption guys always ended up on the Lakers or the Celtics or whatever, and you're sitting here going, man, just once we'd like to get that guy on a mid-level exemption or the buyout or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. I'd love to see Bosa in a Seahawks uniform.
They're going to have like him and Dexter Lawrence pinch hitting for each other.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty nice.
Stop it. Okay. Breaking news.
Okay.
I think this has legs.
All right. Let's hear it.
There has been some controversy at one center court as of late regarding stadium, coaching, personnel, you name it, it's going on. Mr. Dundon isn't exactly making himself popular in the city of Portland right now.
Correct.
However, I believe there is a move that would be championed by Damien, which is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
And I think would be an excellent decision by the front office.
Yeah, and I think the fans would like it. I think it would be a very popular move.
So are we bringing Coach back?
Coach Stotts back to Portland?
Love it. He never...
Apparently he wants it.
I mean, did he ever sell his house and anything? I don't know.
You're the one that ran into him all the time on the lake.
Well, I'd catch him on his walk as I'm driving to work, or I'd catch him at Duke's having a beer after work, or I wasn't at Duke's having a beer all the time.
After work.
After work. Yeah, no, I mean, he was a Laco guy. He lived right behind Hefe there, right down the deal I still see Neil O'Shea walking on the lake. Sometimes I get tempted to veer over a little bit.
That's a different type of conversation.
But that's a different conversation. Look, man, young team, veteran presence, and you've got the green light from your future banner in the rafter guy.
Yeah.
How do you say no?
Well, if he's willing to coach for what they're saying that they're going to pay a coach,
he's going to get paid more. And even Cronin was on record saying that he will pay the appropriate for the experience that comes along.
Yeah, of course.
He's going to get his $5 to $8 million a year. He's going to get a 4x30 contract, and welcome back.
Yeah, I think it makes total sense. And he's not going back to Golden State. Like, that's already finalized. So
I think he was hanging around to see if Kerr was going to retire.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And not a bad gig, but
no, I'm all for it. I think that'd be a great move. And let's keep talking Blazers. So what do you think about, laid off 70 people, and the report is basically there was a spreadsheet, and if you were in the top 70, you were out. It was basically a cost cutting, but if you just bought a professional organization, and let's remember, he did this with Carolina in the NHL. And Carolina is currently playing in the Eastern Conference,
whatever.
Finals for the right to go to the Stanley Cup. And he turned that franchise around in just a couple of years.
Okay.
If you went and bought a professional franchise, and a franchise that's middle of the road to bottom, wouldn't you want to go in and maybe clean house a little bit, bring in your own people?
This isn't even about a franchise. This is just about buying a business.
A business.
And let's not forget that's what this is. I mean, it is a for-profit entity.
Yes.
Yes. When I'm at work doing my thing and I bring in another advisor's book, doesn't look the same a year later, let me tell you.
No.
And that's what you do. I don't have a problem with it at all. And I think we have such a lack of things to talk about in this town that people make mountains out of molehills. And at the end of the day, he's a business owner doing business owner things. And quite frankly, I'd be surprised if he wasn't doing this.
Well, this isn't just a local story. The not giving out towels and not letting the two-way guys travel with the team for the first. He got a lot of national press on that stuff.
Well, Sloan Media Day. Baseball hadn't really started yet. NFL's not going on. What else they got to talk about?
But this is kind of a national story that you have this owner who's coming in and basically, for lack of better terms, blowing up a franchise on the back end.
Yeah,
the on-court product is fantastic.
Has not been blown up. Yeah, okay.
So he's going out and he's getting people. He's going to bring in people that he wants to work with, probably that he trusts, that have experience. It's new blood. It's a new mentality. It's new not broadcasters. Kevin Calabro needs to stay. Sorry, Chad. I love Kevin Calabro as a Seattle guy, but
I want Mike and Mike back. They were awesome.
Yeah, I don't think Mike and Mike are coming back.
Well, I don't think Rice is coming back any. I don't think Barrett's getting an invite back either. But
no. But I would be looking to bring in my guys and make this the way I want it to. And the sooner that I do it, the sooner I can mold it into the way I want my $1 billion worth of money being spent.
I just said I agree with everything you just said.
Enjoyed Lineups and Lures? Like, share, and rate the show to help us grow. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening, and catch you next time on Lineups and Lures.